Welcome, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. But if you clicked on yesterday's video, you remember that daily expected move we gave you yesterday was right on top of our weekly expected move, which means they acted like a magnet. And something that we need to pay attention to and get you guys are the daily expected moves for tomorrow, because as we get to this place, it does look like we need to say, oh, we are getting outside of our 68% zone, so we need to look for potential pullbacks. But if the daily scale is able to confirm up, that thing's going to be going right back into positive territory. So we will be looking out for some kind of lower high. But as of right now, this curling up this close to the center line would suggest that we are going to go test in this area up in these levels, or we're potentially going to go make a new high. So let's get into those shorter time frames and let's talk about what's going on, because the daily chart is showing that the RSI is already crossed up and already across that center line. So let's get into it. For the weekend, everyone's saying crash and things like that. We just simply used our yellow line. That's why these yellow lines are very nice. And we're going to give you updated ones. So if you really are enjoying this information, you are able to understand it's helpful to you. We are going to give out the new yellow lines, right? The new monthly expected moves for the month of December. And I think it's going to be very important because I think we could see some interesting things in December. So let's pay attention to our 2-hour chart. As of right now, what do we need to pay attention maybe to the bear side? Well, you still would say if this 2-hour is curling to the downside for the SPY, that could be kind of an issue because you're close enough to the center line that, hey, you could test the lows, right? That would suggest you have the ability to test the lows, maybe even go make a new one. But I think that it's very interesting that we're paying attention to exactly what we were watching for yesterday, which was break this level, right? Break this sort of neckline. I think no one's paying attention to this left, this potential head. And the right shoulder, if we would come and fill that gap, would be very, very nice. So we are looking for some kind of pullback, I would say, in this area. But as people continue to short this move, it's kind of an issue that people are still shorting and shorting throughout the day as this goes up, being used as fuel. You might have seen a Twitter post from me saying they're being used as fuel right now. And right when they give up, right when they start to maybe flip to the bull side, that's when we're going to see maybe a rug pull style right shoulder there. So I do want to pay attention to that. But the bear side would still say, hey, if the 2-hour rolls down, it is sketchy. So this would say I treat this with caution. But if it turns back up, hey, I'm back on the bull, and that daily chart is going to turn up in December, and we are at least going to see one more new high would be the most likely scenario at that point. So let's talk about some, daily expected moves for tomorrow, right? Because the 30-minute chart has not even seen really 2 waves yet. So you would be saying a 30-minute pullback would potentially be the next opportunity. So you do have a lower amount of implied volatility. So something interesting here is 679.68, right along that line, right? The connection between these highs. If you were going to say, hey, maybe a lower high or another time where it's going to back off, it could be around this level. At the same time, to the downside, 670.36. So for tomorrow, your daily expected moves. And actually, I'm gonna read out the second standard deviation just in case something tricky happens. I'm just gonna read it out real quick. Let me go find it for you. 665.69. 665. We'll go right around 665.50, which is actually where these wicks came in. Okay, so this level here, I would just mark off like 665.50. That would be your 95% zone, which is pretty much where this wick is. But for now, you would say, what's the simplest way to look at this market? Oh, the 30-minute is very bullish. We see no hints that this is some kind of massive trap and there's some kind of big rug pull coming. We don't see that. We do not see the crash signals on the 30-minute. We don't see it happening for the 2-hour right now. The daily scale is still by the center line, about to curl into positive territory. And we mentioned that thing with the Qs, which we're going to mention again in this video if you haven't heard us say it before. A 30-minute pullback is going to be the next potential opportunity. The highest probable move here is the 30-minute will pull back in some way, then be able to curl to the upside. And we are going to see either a lackluster day tomorrow to pull back all day and then see that move to the upside. Maybe it takes a little longer, though, and we're able to pull back even deeper, go into something like that 665 level, and then we curl to the upside. The more dangerous thing here would be that this is not going to show any kind of divergence or anything. We are just going to drop down. We are going to drop down or make a lower high to get down and fill that gap. And then we'll have to really be paying attention to stuff and talking about this market at that point. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We need to make sure to take the market in stride, understand that we don't know the future. We just look at the market, really look at how these things roll and move. We look at the percentages in front of us, we look at the moves in front of us, and look at what's very probable. But as the market proves itself, we can change. And that's a very, very good thing, because stocks are what? Charts are what? Price is what? Dynamic. It is always, always changing. So just to clarify, at the end of the SPY here, a 30-minute pullback is the next highly probable opportunity. That would be when this 30-minute is down by that center line and curls up into positive territory. Starting off on the 30-minute chart for the Qs. First of all, let's also do this. Let's talk a little bit differently, right? Let's give some other helpful information here. You are at the weekly expected move. That means that by the end of the week, you have a 68% chance to close down there and a 32% chance to close up there. So I just wanted to point that out. Now it is Thanksgiving week. It's a low volume week, and everyone keeps shorting this move. So don't be surprised if this market just ends up closing in the 32% areas. Now, why would it do that? Well, because the 32% area makes sense. Everyone was betting on a stock market crash, and the opposite is happening right now. So a lot of people are taken off guard, meaning they could flip the script soon. But I would highly likely, I would like to see a 30-minute pullback first, which means we need to give you daily expected moves. And I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit quickly here. My wife is trying to cook a lot of things, bake a lot of things for Thanksgiving. I hope you and your family do have a great Thanksgiving, but she's trying to cook a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to get done with this so I can go help out with baby girl. So I am trying to give you guys a little time here though. 614.61 to the upside, 603.17 to the downside. Once again, outside of our zone. Now, the interesting thing as far as structure goes, one, you're not overbought on the 30-minute yet. So I do actually think that tomorrow we have the potential to see the Qs actually come and tag this area, maybe even early on in the day. As of right now, we do get, today we got the PPI and we got retail sales month over month. Tomorrow we will get the durable goods orders, but at 8:45 we will get the Chicago PMI. I don't know if that'll really shake things up too much, but I just wanted to point that out. We could have a piece of data that's used in the first 30 minutes of the day. If you do see a move to the upside, that could cause a pullback to take place. And we'll pay attention to critical levels, but this would mean we would need to break through that level, right? And we're not overbought. So if we wanted the structure that we're talking about from the SPY, we would want to break through that level, go up to that 614.61. That would be the continuation. We would still say that a 30-minute pullback would be the next opportunity. And if that is in some way surprising, we could go take care of that gap in some way first before we're able to head to the upside first. So the 30-minute here for the Qs still far away from that center line, suggesting a 30-minute pullback would be okay here. But just in case, if the 2-hour does turn down and we need to take care of this gap, just pay attention to those type of things, because we haven't fully made the structure for the left head and the break of this level to give you the good hint of, hey, this is going to be a right shoulder. The other thing here is the daily chart, right? The daily chart is something we talked about here. The daily chart for the Qs, this is something I've been mentioning a lot. Everyone's saying your level has broken. Yes, we need to see the lower high now. We need to see that right shoulder. And usually you do see a pretty good right shoulder. So if we do see a lower high in here in any kind of way, that's what I'd really be paying attention to at this point. You've broken through the critical level. Now you need to see that move up to potentially fail and give you the lower high. But since this is by the center line, you want to treat this, and as the RSI is confirming it with the signal line, as the RSI is crossing above the center line, actually the 50 line there for the QQQs on the daily scale, you have to say if this curls up, we can test the high, go make a new one. But for the time being, if we are going to see some kind of massive weird trap at the end of the year, which I don't see coming until the end of December, really, in the psychology of the market side of things. But just in case, if you do see a lower high in this area, that would be something to pay attention to, because if the SPY goes and makes a divergence, a lot of the times at major tops, the Qs will make a lower high. So we are looking for a lower high or a divergence from these markets at this point. We do not see that for the Qs because the Qs violated that on the MACD, suggesting that we would have one more push to potentially see us actually confirm firm divergence here, as the only divergence that we saw was on the RSI, and it is this flat in the near price action. I'm sure some people saying multiple point, which is something to pay attention to. You are correct to pay attention to a top right now. You are correct to pay attention to that, but don't think a top has to happen overnight. Don't think a top doesn't take months to actually take place, because truly being, we've been talking about traps and potential building of a top for a while. We got rid of it for a little while, but we've been talking about it since here. We saw what happened in here, so we said we're going to extend this. We saw what happened in here, and now we're checking out what's happening in here and saying a lot of things are saying that we are highly probable to extend this for at least a bit of time into December, and that's why we're going to keep putting out these videos and keep giving you guys critical levels. So I hope this genuinely helps you, and now let's go look at volatility and see what it says. Maybe there's some kind of big crash signal over there. No, there is not some, oh, you saw kind of some of the ideas that I was drawing up today. Okay, we do see that we are closing now firmly below the 200. And the 50 is actually an important thing to have up for the volatility, for the VIX. So the 50, we're tagging right on it though. So the 50 is where you can find some sort of support. This actually adds credibility to potential for a pullback tomorrow is because you're tagging that 50. But does this look like something that is popping off with volatility? This looks like a lower high. We're not even seeing more volatility than back in October. So as of right now, bigger drop, less volatility. That means less big players, hedging, or less big players, committing themselves to selling at this point or buying volatility. You also have these potential points that are lower, still paying attention to that right now. As it stands, this is a bad confirmation for the bears. It really is. And if you look at the 2-hour chart, is this something, if you've been a part of this channel for a long time, you see a divergence. I don't know why the people who normally mention this on you, I don't know why they're not mentioning it. Look at this 2-hour divergence. Look at the 2-hour triple divergence on the RSI. We were talking about these things, and we were suggesting that if you break through these levels, watch out for a lower high. So I think there is still a period where we're going to see a bump in volatility, maybe early in December, to catch people and say, yeah, we're definitely going to crash. We're definitely going to crash. And then we just go up into the end of the year or something like that, because the MACD is very deep now. The MACD is very, very deep, and it is suggesting that it's going to take a lot of effort to get back up to those kinds of levels, right? It's going to take a big, big announcement news. Maybe a black swan event could do it. But as of right now, you are not seeing it in the signals. You are not seeing any kind of crash signal here from the 2-hour chart. Even if this 2-hour curled up, you just broke through the low, it would be likely to be going to make that right shoulder that could have been, giving you the left head and right shoulder to break down. That's how I see it for volatility as of right now. That seems to be the most probable according to your indicators. You have no divergence down here on your MACD or RSI. In fact, if you go onto the 30-minute chart, you only have a divergence for your 30-minute MACD, and it's not confirmed, and it does not look like a divergence that you would have much faith in, right? If you see a divergence, you really want those kind of bumps in the road like this. This isn't a bump in the road type of moment. So the only thing that you can hang your hat on if you're a bear is a black swan or this little 30-minute divergence on the MACD. And that's it, because you do not see anything down there on the RSI. You are just getting more and more oversold as it stands. So you see nothing here that is overall bearish from volatility. You do see potential, right? You can see it in the structure, really. You can see the structure, how we could see a moment where we do want to give off some kind of scare to really tell people, yeah, we're crashing down the rest of the year, all Christmas, we're going to crash. The Grinch is coming to town. And then we just subside and we actually see an upward move, and that is used as fuel, as liquidity to go to the upside. So as of right now, volatility is not suggesting that this is going to be some kind of massive trap. When it does, I do believe a trap is coming. I really, really do. I just think some funky stuff's going to happen towards the end of the year. Awesome, cool. We still play the game. But when this stuff does show you those type of things, when it shows you a trap, I will tell you. I actually just told you about a trap over on Patreon. We were talking about this 2-hour divergence. We talked about the potential trap for Thanksgiving week. That was the last trap I told you. And as of right now, I don't see any kind of trap. But something I do see that I want to mention at the end of this video is that we are getting a little like up there as according to the weekly expected moves. According to the connection between these highs, according to the momentum on the 30-minute scale, we will need a 30-minute pullback eventually, even if that pullback is with time, right? A pullback with time is where you keep price, but you kind of just go sideways overall. And then you get this MACD by the center line and you curl up into positive territory. So I wanted to say that at the end of the video just to bring it all back to fruition, right? A lot of people, heard about me buying calls in these levels. I was pretty confident in this. And then I saw this upward move And I said, man, that's a big upward move. And just in case, with all those 85% probabilities, I overall sold that. And now I'm looking for the 30-minute pullback to actually go to the upside, because the smarter players actually let this move happen. And, I was being a little risky with it, but they let this move happen. They look for the dip to buy, and then it heads to the upside. It's much, much safer that way. So I will continue to put out this information, but I will continue to shout out that the only risky thing that I see from the market at this point is a 30-minute, maybe a 2-hour pullback, and we're at the weekly expected move. So upside should be limited for the rest of the week. I hope overall this information that we've been putting out over the past few days has been very, very helpful to you, because a lot of people have just been putting out these I thinks and I knows, and I do not see what they see. And I notice that a lot of people out there are just blatantly ignoring things that are on the charts they're using to describe a crash. They are blatantly ignoring information that goes against their narrative. So I wanted to point that out. Make sure that you are looking at the chart that someone is talking about and analyzing it yourself. You can analyze my chart right in front of me if you would like. The chart, the things that we were talking about was the fact that we were down by the monthly expected move, was the fact that we were forming a 30-minute divergence. And if that confirmed, that meant that we were not going to crash down this week, but we were going to see a 2-hour move to the upside. And if we were able to break through these levels, then we were very likely to see a pullback that would scare people out, but it would end up being to the upside again, because this is a very strong move so far. These are all things that we have said. You can go back and check on the videos, but I just want to encourage you to make sure you are also not just soaking in information, but analyzing it yourself, because I do believe that you are smart and you can do this. And that's why overall, if you want to get better at this, if you're starting to understand things and you want to understand them a little bit better, you can get the course that's down in the description. It's only $100. It's our Black Friday, I call it Black November sale. It's full technical analysis course. You get that, you'll start to understand a lot of what we're talking about on this channel. And especially on days where I have more time to talk further into things and really explain things well, you'll really, really get what's going on here. And I can just be a buddy that we're bouncing off of, and you can really understand weekly expected moves, divergences, and everything like that. It really will help you out. There's so much in there that I still get emails to this day where people are saying, thank you so much, because this has actually helped my trading. So I hope it helps you as well. I genuinely do. And I hope you have a great, great Thanksgiving. And I'll try to see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I'll put out a little video for you guys tomorrow and still give you daily expected moves for Friday. Okay, guys, peace out. Be safe on Black Friday. Don't go nuts. Don't go mowing people over at a Walmart or anything like that. Okay, guys, have a good one. Peace.